She walked away from a multi-million-dollar empire, faced a massive government lawsuit, and vanished. Here is the shocking reason why everyone is talking about Jordan in 2026. Imagine holding the keys to a massive, multi-million-dollar corporate kingdom, only to hand them back because you realized the throne was actually a cage. We begin our special investigative report tonight looking into the sudden and massive resurgence of a vocalist the world thought they already understood. For years, the global audience watched a young, barefoot girl with a vintage jazz voice capture the hearts of millions on international talent stages. Industry insiders and top executives viewed Jordan as the ultimate prize, a raw, undeniable talent destined to be heavily produced and molded into a generic global pop icon by the highest corporate bidder. However, as 2026 unfolds, she is completely dominating the cultural conversation for a very different and unexpected reason. Sources deep within the music industry have watched in absolute awe as she executed a quiet but incredibly firm separation from the traditional major label machinery. She opted instead for a path of absolute independence, refusing to let her unique sound be sanitized or auto-tuned for fast-paced viral algorithms. By rejecting the immense financial security of a corporate giant, she essentially declared war on the traditional gatekeepers of modern stardom. This massive pivot has left seasoned record executives in a state of genuine alarm, as she is proving that in 2026, raw, authentic talent absolutely does not need a middleman to reach a worldwide audience. She has taken her master recordings and her destiny into her own hands, proving she is no longer a product for sale, but a visionary. But the road to this new empire was paved with intense behind-the-scenes battles that almost broke her, setting the stage for a dramatic clash that the media completely missed. A David and Goliath battle quietly unfolded in the heart of Oslo, proving that the entertainment business is rarely about the music and almost always about financial control. Just as everyone was talking about her new independent direction, a brutal legal conflict was simultaneously erupting back in her home country of Norway. In late 2025, she became deeply entangled in a high-stakes standoff with the national broadcaster, NRK. The intense dispute ignited when abruptly withdrew from the Grand, a highly anticipated televised musical event. The massive network viewed this move as a breach of agreement and aggressively demanded over 130,000 Norwegian kroner, which translates to roughly $11,000, in financial compensation for travel, staging, and designer wardrobe expenses. It was a daunting legal clash that pitted a young, newly independent artist against a massive, government-backed broadcasting network. Network set strict payment deadlines and publicly demanded explanations, turning up the heat on the 20-year-old vocalist. However, her legal team fiercely defended her position, pointing out that formal agreements were never fully executed and citing extreme extenuating circumstances for her sudden departure from the production. For 7 grueling months, the network attempted to force a collection, creating a massive public distraction during a critical pivot in her career. Yet and her management held their ground with remarkable stoicism, absolutely refusing to bow to corporate intimidation. Finally, after months of a tense legal stalemate, the network threw in the towel and dropped the case entirely. This decisive victory was a powerful statement that she would not be bullied by institutional power, but what the public didn't know was the terrifying reason she dropped out in the first place. Behind the beautiful melodies and the international accolades lay a wall of silence so thick that a massive wave of artificial threatened to completely rewrite her reality. The sudden withdrawal from the Norwegian competition was just the beginning of a highly controversial period that insiders now refer to as her silent exile. When her legal team communicated with the broadcasting network, they cited severe security warnings and personal safety issues that had recently surfaced. Accusations emerged that the intense global spotlight had attracted a dangerous element, forcing her family to take drastic protective measures to ensure her physical well-being. Adding to the chaos, devastating environmental wildfires swept through her region in Los Angeles right around the time of her withdrawal, further displacing her community and adding severe stress to an already volatile situation. For a brief time, the girl who lived in the public eye vanished into the shadows. Her team drastically tightened her inner circle, pulling her away from public appearances to ensure her physical and emotional safety. During this vacuum of actual information, a bizarre wave of misinformation swept across the internet. A tsunami of artificial, digital-generated videos and wild speculations flooded online platforms, falsely claiming she had permanently retired from the industry or suffered a total breakdown. Fans were left completely in the dark, fueling a firestorm of speculation that dominated social media. But the reality was far more strategic and calculated. She used the silence to shield herself from the vultures of the entertainment world, that her mental health and artistic vision remained completely impenetrable, quietly for a massive live comeback. The neon lights of Las Vegas are meant to be photographed and shared, but she is demanding the one thing modern fans are absolutely terrified to give: their total, undivided attention. The climax of her massive 2026 comeback took place at the historic International at the resort, the very stage where legends like once ruled. Stepping onto this iconic stage on January 31st, 2026, as a newly minted independent artist was an unprecedented achievement for someone her age. But what truly had everyone talking was the atmosphere she created in the room. Instituted an absolute media blackout. No mobile phones, no recording devices, and absolutely no social media posting were allowed during her performances. In a world completely obsessed with screen time and viral clips, she forced her audience to actually live in the moment and experience the raw vibrations of her voice without a digital filter. Why would a young star intentionally limit her social media reach? Because she wanted the music to be a sacred, shared experience rather than cheap content for an algorithm. This mystery only drove demand through the roof, sending secondary ticket prices into the stratosphere and creating an aura of exclusivity that hasn't been seen in decades. The shows themselves have been described as intensely atmospheric and emotionally draining, cementing her status as an elite live performer. As a journalist covering the entertainment beat, witnessing an artist tell a full of paying customers to put their screens away is virtually unheard of. It was a massive gamble that paid off entirely, setting the perfect stage for her most highly anticipated studio release yet. Most musical artists spend a lifetime desperately trying to find a single song that defines them, but she just dropped an entire project that feels like it was whispered directly from the past. While the world mistakenly thought she was hiding in defeat during her Exile, was actually locked in the laboratory, completely reinventing her sound. The true secret weapon of her 2026 global takeover was finally unveiled on March 6, 2026, with the highly anticipated release of her album, Secret of Love. The internet went into an absolute frenzy when she dropped a haunting teaser for the track The Day I Chose You on social media. But the most shocking revelation for the music industry wasn't just the sheer vocal quality of the music, it was the profound origin of the lyrics. The industry was stunned to discover that the emotional depth of these tracks wasn't manufactured by a room full of expensive Hollywood ghostwriters or trend-chasing producers. Instead, the deeply moving words were heavily influenced by the brilliant, private journals and poetry of her own grandmother. By blending her family's rich, historical heritage with her haunting jazz fusion vocals, created an intimate, masterful body of work. This family code turned her music into a deeply personal narrative, allowing fans to connect with her on a spiritual level that corporate pop stars could never possibly achieve. The critically acclaimed success of this project forced record executives to completely reevaluate their outdated business models, proving that genuine familial connection sells far better than any manufactured controversy ever could. In an era where every pop star is desperately fighting for 15 seconds of viral fame, she decided to completely abandon the digital rat race and build an empire strictly on her own terms. The massive critical success of her grandmother's poetry translated into music led to the true foundation of why everyone is talking about her, the independent brand. By embracing her jazz roots and refusing to compromise her patented vocal tone for cheap radio play, she created a direct-to-fan business model that completely bypassed the traditional Hollywood gatekeepers, made the highly controversial decision to stop posting her newest masterpieces on standard algorithmic video channels, a move that baffled social media experts. Instead, she chose to dominate the major digital streaming platforms entirely on her own terms. This brilliant, family-driven strategy allowed her to keep the creative soul of her music perfectly intact, while simultaneously retaining the massive profit margins that major record labels usually siphon away from young artists. She took the hardest possible road, building a self-sustaining ecosystem that relies on the loyalty of true music fans rather than the fleeting attention of casual scrollers. By taking complete control over distribution, publishing, and live performances, she essentially turned her grandmother's profound wisdom into a global, unstoppable brand. Top executives in London and New York are currently at their digital charts in absolute disbelief, watching a 20-year-old independent artist outturn and outperform their most expensive corporate marketing campaigns without breaking a sweat. Her 2026 resurgence is the ultimate declaration of artistic sovereignty.